Hello guys, so in this video we'll take a quick look on the layers menu options we have for each layer, and keep in mind that each type of item here have a different menu items for it. So for example, let's start by the data frame. When you right click on the data frame, you see that you can add data to the data frame. You can create a new group layer, create a new base map layer. You can copy it and paste it right here. You can remove, you can turn on all layers or turn it off, select all layers, collapse all layers will collapse them for you, or expand all layers will expand them for you. And here you can set the reference scale, and the reference scale will make your features set at certain scale. So for example, before I set it, let me show you what happens here. So when I zoom in and zoom out, you will see that the features changing and changing the scale based off if I'm zooming in or zooming out. If I go back again to my extent and I enable the set reference scale, when I zoom in again, you will see that the features scale is not changing. Features still showing like on the same size that I set it for. Even if I keep zooming in, the scale of the features will still the same. Sometimes you might need to use set scale, but also you can come right here back and say I want to disable or enable it or clear it, or zoom to feature reference. So we can clear it from here, and you can also, and here you can enable advanced drawing options for all the layers inside the data frame. You can enable labeling or disable labeling, and you can manage labeling from here. And here you can convert features to graphics. So if I click on it, I can convert all my cities points layer to graphics, and if I say OK, I will have graphics on the map showing the same points I have. So when I disabled, let's disable all the layers, now I have other points here that actually is graphic. So this is not feature class, this is not a feature layer, it is just graphics on the map. And you can come here, if you have graphics on the map, you can come here and say convert graphics to features, and it will do the opposite for you. It will ask you which graphics you want to convert to features and which layer you want to save your features to. And in order to delete this graphics, you cannot delete it by editing. You can only delete it by come here and select the select element tool, and you can choose all of them or choose some of them. And as you see here, they have been highlighted. You can press delete on your keyboard and they will be deleted for you. So let's enable our layers again. And here you have activate to activate the data frame. And here you open the properties for the data frame. So now let's check the options for the group layer. You can add data to it. You can add another group layer inside the group layer. You can copy, remove, or paste. You can ungroup, and ungroup will remove the entire data frame and remove the entire data. So I'm gonna put them back again by coming here and say undo what I just did, and they will come back again as I want them. The next option here, we have zoom to layer. So for example, if you are somewhere else on the map and you want to just zoom to this group, you will just zoom to the layer and it will zoom to it. And here we have set visible scale, so you can set the minimum scale or the maximum scale. And the minimum scale is like, what is the minimum scale this layers can be visible, and what is the maximum scale this layers can be visible. So if I choose set minimum scale right now, the minimum scale where this maps will be visible is when I have a ratio of 1 to 4 million. So if I set it here and I zoomed out a little bit, you will see that the layers will be disappeared. And as you see here also, the icon changed it to show that this layers is not visible. If I don't know what scale I set this layers to, I can just come here and right click and say zoom to make visible. So it will zoom to the scale I set this one visible to. And you can set the maximum scale as well, or you can clear the scale range from here. And these two options here use symbol level and edit features. We will see it and check what it does when we do the advanced editing in the master section. And here you have the option to save as layer file or create a layer package from this group layer. And here you can open the properties for this data frame. And here if you right click on feature class, you will see that you have some of the same things you have with the data frame and the group layer, but also you have the option to open the attribute table from here. You have the option to do join and relate, and we will do join and relate in another video. And also you have here the option to do selection for this layers, like select all. It will select all the cities for you. You have the option to do zoom to selected features, pan, clear selection, switch selection, or do select all. And we will come back to all these options here when we focus on the selection part in another video. But also you can do the same options from the layer menu right here. Here we have the option to label the features. So let's clear our selection, go to the counties and do label features. And as you see here, the name of the counties that we entered in our attribute table right here used as, so here Kern, you have the label on top of it, and you have the label on top of each county by the county name attribute. And we can change which attribute to use in the layer options. So here you can enable or disable the labels. And the other options we have here is to start or stop editing from here. Here you can convert the labels to annotation, and we will discuss the annotations in another video. And here also you can convert it to graphic or not. And here you have the option to export your data. You can select if you want to export all the features or only the features in the view extent. And here you can define your coordinate system if you want to use the same coordinate system. And here you define the output location, and if you want to save it as a shapefile or as a feature class. And if you save it as a feature class, it have to be inside a file or personal geodatabase. And also you can export it to a CAD file. So if you have someone who want to see your data on a CAD file, you can export it to a CAD file and send it to them. Save layer file, save layer package, and properties. On the raster files, when we right click on it, you have the same options you have in all the other layers, but you have one extra option here, say zoom to raster resolution. So each raster image, so for example, let's check this one, and we right click and we go say zoom to raster resolution. So each raster image have a specific resolution, and when you choose zoom to raster resolution, it will zoom your map to the resolution of this raster image, so it's not pixeled or it's not out of resolution. So we will go back again to our previous extent, and the last thing we have here is the base map. And when we right click on the base map, you will see that you have much less options because you cannot control this base map, and you have the same options you have in all the other layers. And the last thing here, if you right click on any symbology for any feature, you can only choose the color if you right click on it, but if you click on it, it will open the option to do your symbol selector. So that's it for the table of content layer menu options. So now you know when you right click on every single item inside your table of content, you know what inside of this menu and what each thing does. And we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.